So the new season of World of Tanks has been unveiled. It is, of course, Valiant for World of Tanks console, and we have some update news that we can cover for this entire new season, which will be starting on Tuesday this week. So, of course, if you haven't already finished up your season pass, then you better get a move on, since this one's coming out very, very quickly, and we'll be moving into the next very long season, which is going to last for nearly 2 months again. I think we've got 7 weeks or maybe even 8 full weeks to be able to complete this next one, so it should be a good one. And of course you should be able to get some decent rewards, but of course we'll look through those rewards first before we move on. And of course the first thing that we have is the reward tiers and season pass info. So this is all grabbed from the Wargaming website. We're going to have a look at it and I'll give you an idea as to what each of these tanks is. Now the first thing that you will see is we've got the free rewards, season pass rewards, and ultimate season pass. Free, obviously, as the name implies, it is free. The season pass is the 2,000 gold option, so you purchase it for 2,000 gold. It's about £6 or something like that. Super, super worth it if you play any amount of World of Tanks console. This is the best thing you can possibly buy in the game. And you also can then purchase the next season pass for free if you don't spend the gold that you get back from the season pass, because it pays for itself in terms of that regard. But we'll get into that later on and why it's the best thing that you can purchase. So free rewards, you can get yourself some rewards every few tiers. So that is basically a tier system up to level 100. And then you've got a new Denton Rogers 2D standard commander. So essentially just a commander that looks different from the rest of them, level 75. And then the free premium tank is the tier 8 Carnarvon Action X heavy tank, which is essentially a fast firing Carnarvon with the 280 alpha damage, I believe it is. I think it's a 20 pounder off the top of my head, but I mean, you guys can probably correct me on that if I'm wrong. And that is, of course, for completing the season. So yeah, really, really nice if you manage to reach rank 100. So that should be really good. And I actually kind of enjoy playing that tank. It's probably not the most competitive, so don't get getting your hopes up too much, since it's probably okay, to be honest with you, but it can be really, really fun to play, and that's something I always enjoy. But for the season pass itself, so this is the paid one, obviously, which isn't really paid if you've already paid for it in a previous season and got the gold value. You can get additional rewards at every level, so you'll get rewards every single level, and then also on the reward levels that you would typically get the standard free rewards, you'll get 2 sets of rewards. So it seems really convoluted, but essentially you'll just get a lot of rewards as you go through. They kind of are silver, you'll get consumables, you'll get premium consumables, you might get gold, stuff like that. But yeah, all of those are all within each level. And then you've got the AVRE44124 inscription voucher. You've got some other inscription vouchers. We won't go into detail on them because they are what they are. But at tier or level 25, you can pick up yourself the tier 5 Valiant medium tank. So we can get into that. It's brand new. So, well, apparently brand new, but we'll just double check that. But the new tier 5 Valiant medium, you've got some more emblems. And then at level 75, you can pick yourself up the type 8, the T59 pattern medium tank, which is a tier 8. This is already in the game. It's nothing particularly special, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. And then as we move through, you get yourself some extra stuff. You can get a new Cold War premium vehicle as well, so that's really, really nice to see. It's called the Cat B Thumper Detente Era Western Alliance Tank Destroyer, so we'll have a look at that in detail. So this is the Era 3 version, so the top tier premium tank. And then enough gold to cover the next 2,000 gold season pass. So that's what we were on about. So essentially, you will get more than 2,000 gold back from paying for the 2,000 gold premium pass. Plus, remember, you get all of the rewards that we've just talked about. And to complete the season, given that it's 7 weeks long, or 8 weeks long even, it's going to be super easy to complete. Even if you only play maybe a couple days a game, a couple games a day, then you would be able to complete this. And of course, the more as you go through, you get weekly challenges that you can complete. It just becomes really easy to complete the season pass. Me personally, from the previous season, I think I ended up being virtual level, so it doesn't give you anything extra, but I ended up reaching like level 250, and as much as I do a ton of videos, I don't play like an inordinate amount of the game. I mean, I play a fair old chunk, probably more than the majority of players, but I mean, I was like 2.5 times over that, and I don't play like a stupid amount, since it's just limited on time and working and that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, you guys are probably going to be fine with being able to complete it. And then we have the 6,000 gold season pass ultimate, which is essentially, it's basically that you pay an extra 4,000 gold and you get some minor things, and then you get a premium tank, which is how Wargaming work it with this ultimate season pass. It's their way of kind of giving you extra stuff if you want to pay the money, and also getting a new premium tank. They obviously want to sell that premium tank, so they put it in with the ultimate season pass, but it's actually very good value usually for what you get from it. So that's really what I wanted to focus on. So the ultimate season pass, you get everything that you do with all of the previous rewards, except you get 25 levels already complete. So that means when you log on to the game, you purchase the ultimate season pass, you don't have to do the first 25 levels, which in my opinion is actually really underrated, because when you complete the first 25 levels, you then essentially get yourself closer to the rank 100. Each level, it doesn't get harder as you go through, so you're going to be able to complete level 99 to 100, the exact same difficulty as completing level 1 to 2, so it just moves you up 25 places. And that means at the end of it, you're able to get the XP boost rewards that you get at the end of this, like once you've completed the season and you go past rank 100, you can get up to like virtual level 125, I think it is. And that way you actually end up getting 25% more silver on every game that you play. You'll get 25% more XP, and you'll get 25% more commander XP as well. So it's just like all of the bonuses, you basically get there faster. So it's a nice little addition, but I wouldn't pay 4,000 gold for that in particular. And then we've got the new commander. So this is a 3D premium commander, which is essentially a commander that earns an additional amount of XP per game, which is nice, but you know, probably wouldn't spend 4,000 gold on it. And then we have the new British Tier 10 FV4003 Centurion MK AVRE medium tank. So it sounds like a mouthful. We'll get into the details of this because Wargaming always showcase the vehicle and what it looks like, and that sounds kind of cool. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Wargaming are actually talking about with that. But as with every season, you do get a free starter pack. So for everyone playing, regardless of if you're on PlayStation, if you're on Xbox, if you're on PlayStation in North America, wherever you are, basically you can play and you'll get this free starter pack. All you have to do is go to the store section within the game. You go there, it will say you can purchase this bundle. I think it's in the specials tab, to be honest with you. And then you go to the specials, you scroll across, and there will be a bundle that says just starter pack. You click on that, it will say £0, 0 pence, or $0, 0 cents, and then you'll see, I don't know, whatever your local currency is, it will be £0 or 0x amount of currency. So it's like super easy to find. All you have to do, just go to the store section in the game, scroll across, down, special section, across, you'll find it, and essentially it will give you 3 days of premium, 5 times 2 silver XP boosters, silver boosters even, 5 3 times vehicle XP boosters, and 5 4 times commander XP boosters. Really good to be able to get it for free, obviously, which makes it 10 times better. And so you'll be able to use those. All you do is, as we've said, and then of course we've got this Valiant season tanks, which is the Chinese tier 859 pattern. Of course, if you already have all of these premium tanks, then you'll get the silver equivalent for them. So if you have the 59 pattern, you'll get 2.88 million silver. If you get the Carnarvon Action X, you'll get 4.2 million silver. So yeah, basically just getting a ton of silver from them if you already have them, like I do. And then the Valiant, we have this World War II British Tier 5. And if you've ever played the Matilda, this is basically what it kind of looks similar to. I mean, it's like a cross with like a Comet with a Matilda-y looking tank. I mean, the armor, it's probably not particularly outrageous. I think it's going to be easy to be able to pen. But yeah, I mean, the stats of the tank you're seeing here, gets a 30% silver bonus, plays up to tier 7, so non-preferential. Looks like it gets 120 pen with 110 damage, so it's a fast firer. It's got awful accuracy, which makes it just something I wouldn't really want to play. Awful aim time, 2.5 seconds. Bearing in mind you can probably fire every 4 seconds, so that's not particularly great. And then the reload time, 4 seconds, yeah. I mean, yeah, I just don't think it's going to be that great. I mean, who is going to be jumping down to tier 5 to sweat their socks off in this thing? I don't know, but I certainly won't be. But that's not the reason I would buy the season pass anyway. The reason why I would buy it is on these two vehicles right here. So we've got the Cat B Thumper. So you can see it looks very, very modern looking, and I'm looking forward to seeing if what this thing is actually going to be like in the game. You can see the armor model over here. Looks like it's got quite a bit of space here, there, and everywhere. Side armor, you've got this plate here. It looks like you're predominantly focused around having angled armor, so really, really angled armor to be able to bounce a few rounds. And of course, you've got all of this space on the side to absorb some heat rounds. It doesn't look like it's going to be like super overpowered armor-wise, but you know, we never know until we jump into the game. And then we've got 65% silver bonus, which is insane given the fact that it's in the top tier era of Cold War, which means you're going to be able to earn a ton of money with this thing. So really, really good in that regard. You've got 4,000 DPM, you've got 40 rounds, you've got 525 meters view range, which is okay. Top speed of 67.6 kilometers an hour, which is very fast. And of course, you have decent hull traverse, decent turret traverse, 9 degrees of gun depression, which is fine. 854 penetration with 700 alpha, which is fantastic. And of course, yeah, looking like it's going to be a bit of a clubber, in my opinion. What's the actual description? So it's in the name, Tank Destroyer, and it does it very well. The Western Alliance first blah 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 have unbelievable penetration and alpha damage. Yeah, entirely true, making it a real threat. Don't know how well it's going to perform in terms of that armor, like we said, but it should be a pretty decent one if you play Cold War. And it's been a while since you probably got a content on Cold War, so I guess it's a nice one for you guys. But what I'm really interested in is the FV4003 Centurion MK AVRE. Now, I have no idea what this thing is going to be like, but if you've been if you've played World of Tanks console and you've got anywhere near tier 10, if you've played up to tier 8, you've probably come across the FV4005, which has the high alpha damage gun, which of course everyone knows about being hit by one of those things, 1450 alpha damage, and then you've got this thing. Now this thing is the FV4003. Well, FV4003, that's not far off of the FV4005, so do you get a big gun? And the answer is entirely yes. It's a 165mm demolition gun, so that's what it was originally intended, and of course it was to take out bunkers and buildings, so it's going to be fun to see how much damage Wargaming have given this tier 10, given the fact that it is supposed to be a medium tank, remember. I mean, you can see some images of this vehicle right here. It's got this big plow, I guess, on the front of it to push it, or yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Looks like the plow is actually spaced armor, so always good when they give a derp tank a spaced armor everywhere. I mean, yeah, it looks like a Centurion. It has a plow on the front, has a massive gun. What are the statistics though? So, first things first, 2,100 hit points, which is absolutely fine. It's in line with some of the other mediums. You've got 695 horsepower, but the power to weight ratio is absolutely abysmal, 12.2. That probably puts it in the range of one of the worst power to weight ratio. That's worse than a lot of heavy tanks that you will see at the tier. So not particularly great. So being able to get up to 48 kilometers an hour is going to be a pain in the backside. And it's probably not going to be too great when it comes to kind of maintaining its speed on the terrain. 16 kilometers an hour reverse speed, it's okay, but I mean, it's not brilliant even in that regard, and once again with the power to weight ratio is going to be horrible. Your whole traverse speed, 30 degrees a second with 36 degrees a second turret traverse. Now that's not awful, but by no means anywhere near some of the other mediums at the tier. You got 10 degrees of gun depression, which is nice. You can use that turret armor. Not that you're going to have an inordinate amount since you are a Centurion Mark 5, as opposed to some of the others like you'll get with the 7/1 or of course the Action X. But either way, you've got 1400 damage though, but remember you've only got 185mm of penetration, which if you think about it, that is like a tier 7 heavy tank. So yeah, pretty awful penetration. So you're going to be relying upon the fact that you are going to be having to fire some premium rounds, which even in themselves are not particularly the most penetration you've ever seen. So they've only got 240mm with 1100 alpha. But remember, this is a medium tank. This is faster than things like the AVRE. Yes, it sacrifices the armor. So this is going to be a really interesting one to play. I have no idea if it's going to be good. I'm hoping that it will. The accuracy and the aim time aren't awful considering it's supposed to be like a derp gun. 0.42 accuracy means that you can probably bring that down to about 0.33 if you've got all of the perks, all of the equipment, blah, blah, blah. And of course, enhanced combat rations. So I think it'll be pretty good in terms of its accuracy. Aim time will also come down with that, perks and equipment stuff. So not awful. And I mean, rate of fire 2.31 rounds a minute, meaning that you've got a damage per minute of 3,234. Now, that might sound bad in terms of, well, not even bad, that sounds good, but remember you probably aren't going to be penning everything, and that's relying upon the fact that you're going to be able to pen everything with your standard rounds, which only have 185 pen. Now granted, you'll be able to come up against medium tanks at the tier and you'll be able to take them out really easily, but it's probably not going to be the majority case, so you're going to have to reduce this value. And then you're going to be waiting 26 seconds to reload, given the fact that the FV4005 has pretty much more alpha and consistently more alpha, more penetration. It's probably faster. You probably have literally like the same amount of armor, to be honest. Let's be honest, because this tank is not going to have like an inordinate amount of armor that's going to really work. So in my eyes, I don't think this is going to blow anything out the water. I think it's something cool, it's new, it's novel, it's not going to be overpowered and broken, which is nice to see since I feel like they've balanced it quite well. In fact, probably balanced it to the point where it's going to be not so good in the game. So I think that's a good thing. I think that it's really cool that they're bringing out these cool tanks rather than just like, oh, let's just make it overpowered and here you go. So that's my opinion. Of course, you guys are entitled to your own opinion. I'm really interested to see what you think of this because, let's be honest, everyone wants to have like a really overpowered tank. But when you start adding every single tank as an overpowered one, you start realizing like, we're just making the game into something that's just disgusting for everyone else that wants to play for free or doesn't want to pay gold or whatever, and it becomes less fun. So the fact that they're bringing in actual really interesting tanks that have something new, novel, really, really good with me. I'm actually a massive thumbs up, dependent on how well it plays. So there'll be a full review on Wednesday, I think, next week, since we'll do a full video on the season pass information that we might have got in addition in terms of the buffs and patch notes. But looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. And of course, it will be coming on Tuesday along with the rest of them. Now, if you were to purchase the skins, which they do come with skins, you can pick up the Valiant skin pack, which comes with the Cat B Thumper for 3,900. And I will hopefully be able to get that one. And the Desert Plains Hero skin for the FV4003 Mark 5 AVRE, which is going to save you 35%. So really nice to see. Looking forward to getting my hands on this bad boy, and I think it's going to be an interesting video indeed when it comes out on Wednesday. You can see here, this is the skin. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Nothing spectacular though. I don't think it's the best skin we've seen, but it is what it is. Now, the Valiant commanders, obviously you can see these are the commanders. Nothing too special in my eyes. They are what they are. Same with this one here. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but at the end of the day, I would much rather have some cool and unique tanks rather than commanders in the game. And of course, the rewards list, for example, you get silver, you get premium consumables and stuff like that. I'm not going to go through every single one, but the most notable things are that you will get at certain season pass levels, you'll be able to pick up key cards. The key cards will give you gold guaranteed, and you have the possibility of getting premium tanks If you already own the premium tank, you'll get the gold equivalent of that premium tank, and of course that can make you a ton of gold, which is always a nice thing. But obviously the chances of you getting a premium and the chances of you getting a premium that you already own, if you don't own that many, is probably pretty slim. So it's unlikely that you're going to be able to get one. But at the end of the day, even if every 12th season you manage to get a premium tank, it will have more than made up for the price of all of them. So yeah, really, really nice. And of course, as we talked about, when you complete past level 100 and you manage to get to level 100, you'll get some XP boosts. The first one is at level 100, you get 25% extra vehicle XP. And then at level 118, you'll get 25% more commander XP. And then at level 24, you'll be able to get 25% silver bonus as well. So really, really nice to see. Massive, boosts in terms of that, and of course, yeah, really, really nice. And then the season level pass skips, I would not recommend ever to actually pay for skips. They are super expensive. I think they're 250 gold. The only ever reason I would ever spend my gold on this is if I got to maybe a season rank 95 and the season ended and I was like, I really want to complete the season. I want to get that tier 100. It's only going to cost me 1,000 gold. At the end of the day, it's £3 and you'll get a premium tank for it. And if you would just genuinely not going to be able to complete it, that's the only reason I would ever spend my gold. But if you were at rank 80, I would not go spending an extra 4,000 gold just to be able to complete it, dependent on how much you think it's going to be worth it in your eyes. But at the end of the day, it's your money. You can do it however you like. But if you are struggling in terms of with the cost of living, etc., then I highly wouldn't recommend spending 250 gold, which is essentially money at the end of the day, to get through some of Wargaming season pass ranks. Just don't bother. It's not worth it in the majority of cases, unless, of course, you can justify that yourself with how much you earn, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that's the information on the Season Pass itself, but what about the patch notes that Wargaming have given so far, where they'll give out some more and some interesting stuff nearer to the release on Tuesday, and we'll cover that later on. But what else have they actually given us? We'll jump over there now. So, first things first, the community map has been available on the custom games within World of Tanks, so it's been available for almost 7 weeks. So they want to hear your feedback. I mean, we played it on stream recently as part of the community kind of game challenge maps that we did, where we were jumping around with light tanks ramming other light tanks and trying to jump over bridges and all sorts. It was a really good stream. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, the community map, we tried it out. It looks okay. I don't think it's going to be outrageously amazing. I think that it's hard to know when you don't know what the finished product is going to be. But at the end of the day, I think it will be an okay map. And then we've got the Allegiance season, so that ends on the 14th of February. So if you haven't completed it, make sure you do. And this week we had the premiums for free XP, or the tier 10s for free XP. We had the Panzer 3K, which you could have picked up. And of course we had some boosters and community consumable sales and stuff like that. And next week, we had new season Valiant. So this is what we've got. We've covered all of the information on that, but we've had some update features. So these are the things that is pretty interesting, and this isn't everything. So that's what Wargaming have given. So in the garage, yes, the camera moves instead of the tank. So only applicable in the hangar, so you can move around your tank, which is cool. I mean, that it is what it is. I mean, that's pretty cool. HUD improvements with the first removal of the target tracker box. Instead, the information is shown as you look at the tank. Player name, health, and tank are shown above the vehicle when you look at. Damage modules of the vehicle you look at are shown below your reticle. So, I mean, I wish we just got them adding in the option, you can choose one or the other. I don't get why they remove the thing, and then because people get accustomed to it, people end up liking it, they remove it, and then they're like, now I've got the thing that I didn't actually like in the first place. Or alternatively, you get someone that actually is like, oh, I prefer this. But at the end of the day, why not just remove the necessity for just one and actually add the option to have either? Of course, you can't have both at the same time. But just having the option to have both would be nice, as they should have done with the original World War II HUD when they changed it to the new one. They should have just given an option to be like, oh, here's the World War II HUD, or do you want the new modern version of the HUD? That would have been better in my eyes than bringing out what they did. Now, the second colorized element, yellow, is anything related to yourself. Your team color will now also be for all actions by your team. Your enemy team color will now be for all actions of the enemy team. And team colors will be dependent on the team color setting. So in the settings options, nothing too particularly interesting there. Now, what they have done, however, is some artillery matchmaking limits. So we've adjusted the matchmakers to limit the number of self-propelled guns per team in a match based on number of players in the queue. For battles tiers 3 to 4, less than 45 players in the queue, there'll be 1 artillery. For more than 45 players, there's 3 artillery, which is always fun. And for battle tiers 5 to 11, there'll be less than 100 players in the queue. There'll be 2 arties per game, or 100 or more players in the queue. There'll be 3 artillery per game. And trust me, I've been seeing a ton of artillery in my games, which is completely against what Wargaming tried to do. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to solve artillery, we're going to put 1 artillery on the team, or maybe like 2 maximum. Now we'll remove that, we're going to have 3, which is just not fun at all. Now they all fire faster, and so they're just more annoying. Like, I think 2 days ago, I tried playing on my own, which I always do anyway, but I was playing and I was like, oh, I'm just going to chill, I'm just going to try and get some gameplay for you guys. And literally, I think I played like 2 games. Both of them had 3 artillery in it. I was just getting like bombarded by like 3 artillery. They were doing like not that much damage, but they were just constantly hitting me. Every like maybe 4 seconds, I was getting hit by one of the artillery, and they were all firing like at me. It just wasn't fun. It probably wasn't that fun for them either. I mean, doing like 50 damage when you're literally hitting me and you're hitting me every like 4 seconds is probably not that fun. And I mean, yeah, it's just horrible to come up against like 3 Berts. It's just not fun at all. So I would have loved to have seen them actually just limit it to 1 and 2 rather than 3 and 3. I mean, yeah, not particularly great. Resolution, so this is a year-long multi-season project. So starting with the Valiant season, it gives you a chance to get even more from every season you conquer when the... Wait, what? While the event is live, after the update on Tuesday, there will be a website live similar to Culture Day back in November for you all to explore. You'll be able to see your completed season, stats for each season, and more. Keep an eye out for more information next week. So we'll cover that ourselves when it comes live on Tuesday. We'll give you an information video like this one where we cover everything. And then Valentine's Day, there's a ×3 daily win bonus. But trust me, if you are playing World of Tanks on Valentine's Day, I feel sorry for you. But yeah, I don't know. Trust me, don't go sitting in World of Tanks if you have other things to do regarding Valentine's Day, or even if you just have things to do. Please don't sit on World of Tanks, especially not that. Just don't do it. Don't put yourself through it. But it's available for 14th of February all the way to 17th, so don't worry about it. Don't worry if you can't jump on. It's only a ×3 XP anyway, so it's nothing too spectacular. There's also the Battle of Kasserine Pass. Wow, what a great name. Starts on February 17th and essentially pick between the Kasserine Allies and Kasserine Axis. And you can pick USA, UK and France for the Allies, or Axis, which is Germany and Italy. If you remember the Tank Bowl event that we had, which was really cool, and of course the most recent one for the World Cup, then this is the same sort of thing. You can earn points for your team to earn yourself a new tank. So Allies have the choice of the T-25 Pilot, the Sommer SM, and the Centurion Mark 5/1. And the Axis have the choice of the Rampanzer or Bisonte. Trust me, if you want to play any of them, definitely pick the Allies because they have the better vehicles. The Bisonte is trash, and the M48A2 Rampanzer is also trash, like both of them being awful. So yeah, definitely choose the Allies, to be honest with you, because the Sommer SM is fantastic. The Mark 5/1 is really fun, and the T-25 Pilot is okay. It's nothing too spectacular. The contract for the Ramrod comes out, and keycards are also refreshed as well. So that is about it, but we do have some questions that Wargaming have answered during their live stream, which is, When the amount of ammo left is less than the clip size, would it be possible to fill the rest of the clip with other ammo? It can be frustrating, but we don't want to force players to use ammo that they didn't intend to use. So yes, we want to allow players to have control of the ammo they use. So I have no idea if that's true. I mean, when the ammo is left is less than the clip size. Oh, I see what they mean. Like, as in, when you've only got one shell left and you want to reload your autoloader with 6 shells, and you're like, well, no, crap, I've actually filled it with just one shot. So I guess that they want you to be able to do that. I mean, that would be a good feature if you've only got one round, and then, you know, your first round is one, and then the rest of them. I don't know that it makes much of a difference, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, it could be something good. 3-man platoons are here for regular multiplayer, but what about increasing it to 5 for co-op? That's interesting, and we can certainly look into it. I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be good. I don't see any problems with doing that at all. Can you remove the co-op era 1 new player map restrictions? We do see it's impacting a lot of new players, and we are reverting those changes next week. So that will be available. Can we hear other commander voices during the map? It's an interesting idea. They've experimented with radio chatter before, so we can discuss this with the audio team. To be honest with you, I actually don't want to hear other people. To be honest, I don't want to hear other people's stuff. Yeah, I just think it just detracts from the game. I'm assuming that they're talking about actual people in game. I don't know. Like, sometimes it's just annoying hearing Armchair General saying how you should be doing so and so, and then realizing that they've actually come bottom of your team and that they YOLO'd through the middle of the map and got taken out, and then now they're shouting about the fact that no one else went through the middle of the map and somehow helped them out against the 15 enemy tanks. No idea. But maybe they're talking about like other people's commanders, like when they're shooting or something. I don't know. I mean, it's nothing too spectacular in my opinion. What else have we got? When will the roundabout, longbomb and plaguebringer? I can't get out any dates, but you can expect them in the upcoming months. So probably the next 3 months, maybe. When will the daily and weekly points go back to normal? The upcoming season will have daily and weekly points return to normal. So much, it'll be increased, I think. Any Cold War offers coming up? There might be something coming later this month, so that's cool. Any chance for platoons to gain more XP? No current plans. We have been brainstorming ideas, and we can add the suggestion to our discussion. So I think on PC you get an extra 15% more silver and 15% more credits when playing in a platoon. It'd be good for a community aspect. It is what it is, though. You know, if it isn't in the game, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it would be nice for people that do jump on, and maybe it would kind of force people to kind of jump into platoons and try and get a bit more of a community aspect within the game, which is never a bad thing. Are we going to get the Lion tank that PC got? I'm sure it will arrive in the future, but it's not currently in the plan, so it could probably be like a year or so before we get it. Can we get some new game modes? Maybe Battle Royale. Nothing we can share right now, but we did test Battle Royale, and it wasn't very fun, so I don't think that's an option. Yeah, I just don't think World of Tanks works with a Battle Royale, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, let's jump in and I guess you could get an option where it's like you start off with like a terrible tank and then you upgrade, but at the end of the day, I think it's like, it's too slow paced, I think, to be a battle royale. Like, I just don't think it's going to work. But 100% they should be thinking about other game modes that they can bring in that are kind of new, novel, and more interesting, that will probably work a little bit better for console. And of course, you'll drag in a ton more players if you have like some more generalized modes that people can kind of get caught up in, and then they play the main game. I think it'd be good. I think it's super important that you develop the game to the point where you've got new stuff that is attracting new audience, getting new people in, and the main thing is actually keeping those people by providing constant cool content, and I think they've done a good job this season so far. So it'd be an interesting one to see how that translates into the next season. And of course, your guys' thoughts. Do you think this is trash? Do you think it's awful? Is it the worst thing that Wargaming have ever done? Or is it actually pretty decent? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And the final one, would it be possible to see marks of excellence progress during the game, not as the match happens, doing something dynamic like that would put extra stress on the server to monitor that? I mean, that would be kind of cool. But overall, as the reception, trust me, when you usually see the Wargaming posts, you see like 100, like maybe 30 likes and like 300 dislikes. So the fact that this is like 5 or 6 times more than the dislikes, it's actually not bad. So I think you guys are probably happy about the fact that we've got a variety of different tanks, the cool content, some of the stuff that they've come out with. I think the Centurion is going to be a cool one. Everyone's going to be hyped to see what this thing is like in game. I don't think it's going to be broken. It's nice to see. This one's cool as well. I think it would be a nice one. And then we've got this one, which you know what it is. But yeah, some really good content in my eyes. I'm happy about it, and actually probably one of the better seasons that I've seen in a long time in terms of the variety and the stuff that they're bringing in, along with the HUD features and stuff like that. Yeah, it's nice to see Wargaming kind of focusing on trying to make the season better each time, rather than focusing on just here's another season every month or 6 weeks or whatever. They're kind of extending them and providing more content within each one, which is cool. But other than that, that is literally the long, probably very, very long video at this point. But of course, just discussing the entire season, going through all of the information. You can always jump back to bits that maybe you didn't understand or you want to have your own input into. Just leave those in the comment section down below. And if I've missed anything, then also leave it in the comments and let me know as well. And of course, if you have any more questions, just ask them away. I'm sure someone will answer, even if I don't. As there are always hundreds of comments every single day between both the PC and console channels that I'm running at the moment. So yeah, thank you guys, and I hope you will join me in the next video, and beware, we will be doing a full review of this vehicle coming on Tuesday maybe. But thank you, and I'll see you there. Goodbye.